I was more looking. Look at the first map though, DaHanG to be very pleased that Exile has slipped in, definitely one of his go-to maps statistically across the board. Champions you don't normally see, like we've seen a lot of Saw lag, especially at QuakeCon this weekend. We've seen the kill, which is not something you see every day, so let's see what ZenAku could bring to the table with that one. Ranger versus the Ison on Ruins, pretty standard, and then going to that final map on Awoken, that's one of Zeniku's go-tos as well. So he's going to be very pleased now if he's got Ruins and Awoken there to be able to maybe turn the tide if he does have to bring a reverse sweep depending on this first map and how it goes.
Just taking a quick peek at the predictions before I, give my input here. Zenacoin is skyrocketing, so I don't know if people want to predict and get into the market, but 71%, 82% now in favor of ZenAku as they keep piling in. Starting off with Exile, Keel versus Strog. I like that matchup a lot. I personally love Keel. I think he's a great champ, but I know that DaHanG is kind of the pioneer on Strog and Peeker, so watch out for those Peeker plays from DaHanG. Again, very control-based. He's going to be able to move around the map at will, very mobile in comparison to the Keel, but Keel has that big burst damage up close, so I imagine DaHanG kind of medium to long range fights until he can chip away using that heavy machine gun and rail and then swoop in, maybe do some peeker plays there. On Ruins, Ison versus Ranger, I like the burst damage from the orb, but if ZenAku can kind of set up that defense with Timmy down by the heavy, maybe even near the mega and the choke point of T-Con, it could go in his favor. And if we get to an Awoken, which I would love to see, Wheat, I'm sure you agree, we want to go all three maps. We want to see everything. Nyx versus Visor, the classic matchup here. I give the slight edge to DaHanG. It's all a matter of vial control on that map and who can get their cooldown and who can get the vision and or ghost walk going the most.
Great points from both of you. I'm really hoping this one does go to a third map, but we'll have to see what the players have to say about it. We were talking before that Visor's had a pretty good win percentage here in this tournament, and it really wasn't until that last game with Rafa and Sparty that Visor kind of got a blemish on that. But we'll see if it continues to play out. Definitely love the way that players are kind of sprinkling that in. As others have said, it feels like a old school Quake champions, and I just love seeing the meta constantly shift here as these players are trying new things and never settling for sort of what is the meta. It's like, let's keep playing with this. We might see that here in this matchup too. So 40 Lions, before I let you go, I saw a request in chat for a howl, I believe, for ZenAku.
Oh, I'm a bird, right. That was more of an owl. I can't get over it. I don't know. Chat just knows me really well. It's a hoot. It's a hoot. I can't. I tried. Caw?
You did your best.
I tried.
I
feel like I let my father down twice. My actual father and not my esports father.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll see you after the matchup. Keep a close eye on it. Work on that howl. Not the hoot.
We'll let him crack on. We'll let him practice
teleporting
the
40 out of here. He's got there's a special cheesecake you can eat that will turn you into a dog, I hear. Lethal, welcome back. We're about ready to get started. ZenAku versus DaHanG. And DaHanG's had quite a day, right? And I was looking at some of the results in the last couple of stage finals, where DaHanG didn't have the best performance across the board. I mean, you look, he lost to Wenger, got dropped down, then ended up losing to Cypher. But in the stage 1 finals, DaHanG did beat ZenAku 2-1. Those maps were Ruins, Exile, and Deep Embrace. ZenAku taking Exile and DaHanG taking Ruins and Deep Embrace. And then that was the stage 2 finals. I just can't read right. And then in the other matchup, DaHanG, or the other tournament, and DaHanG did come out pretty early. So he's lived longer than he has in previous tournaments. He's definitely put forward some good performances, but ZenAku is someone who wants it. That number 2 seed says a lot about what's happened in terms of the talent shift in NA and the Americas. But I don't know. What do you think? Right? We could talk back and forth. It's kind of like a ping pong match just in the conversation, because I think this could be anyone's game.
It certainly could be. Like we mentioned before, that 3-0 victory from Zeniku was like 3.5 months ago. But ever since Zeniku hit that skill, that plateau about 4 or 5 months ago, he's never really had that kind of downward spiral or kind of drifted off at all. He's kind of stood there and then slowly improved as time went along. We saw Chain do that when he kind of dropped off a bit just due to the fact that he had other commitments, which is understandable. But Zeniku's just been riding the wave, so to speak, and he's been looking very, very good. And with these map choices, he should be pretty happy. I think we're starting on EU West to begin with in this matchup. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, especially on Exile as well, give him a bit of leeway here. But we'll have to see going into this series. It's anyone's guess at this moment, as we are going to be kicking things off from Zeniku's POV here, straight away picking up that heavy, going for the rail and trying to see if he can get a little bit of damage onto DaHanG, and he does. Straight off the bat, lovely start, 2 for 2. We almost get the third as DaHanG's not going to give him the chance, but he's going to come in with the shotgun. Very aggressive start, and what a fantastic way to kick things off.
That was someone who wanted to make a statement in the first 20 seconds of a matchup, picking up that rail after getting the heavy, and then boom, boom, 2 perfectly placed rail shots, and that first frag is the net result from there. That's a big start for Zeniku. I mean, also just goes to show he wants to be using that rail. He's going to pull it out there. I like the usage. I think the grenades. I actually think grenades on Exile can be a little bit more difficult, right? There's other maps where some of those small corridors, hallways, they really, really become good kind of death traps for those pineapples. But how we're seeing Zeniku use it, already like that, as we get at the first minute pass, things have slowed down a little bit. Zeniku's on the board with 1.
Yeah, it's not every day you see the kill used on Exile. Like I said, it's a very open map, and Zeniku's just trying to get away with his life. Can use those pineapples in the rocket area, sometimes to contest heavy. Depends how you want to use it, really. Is Zeniku managed to get away with his life, but how long forward? I think it's just delaying the inevitable, which he has done, as DaHanG gets a great rail off as he was going for the spawn, but Zeniku just managed to get out of there just in time. Stacks are even, but you can see DaHanG just going straight for that heavy. Oh, that was beautiful from Zeniku. Great damage dealt with that tri-bolt. Now going for him on the spawn, but decides just to let those audio cues do the talking, just giving him that map presence and keeping DaHanG scared. Still has that heavy machine gun, hasn't got a rail yet, and neither has he have the rockets. Hasn't got all the weapons in his arsenal. We'll be grabbing it any second now, and the heavy will be up in the next 12 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, not having that weapons arsenal, I was shocked he was able to get that kill at the heavy. Yeah. That, I mean, you know, it's like, I guess I'll use the tri-bolt and these pineapples that God gave me, and here we go. 3-1 now as another frag comes up there. We do see Peeker come out and try to get some cheeky damage off of there, but Zeniku is staying on top of DaHanG, not giving him a whole lot of flexibility here on this map. Really running things nicely as he picks up perfectly timed Mega. LG comes out, gonna switch.
Wow!
Oh, yes! The nice little pineapple around the corner, and then the shotgun for a little bit of extra damage. And I take back everything I said about Keel on Exile.
It's fine. It's fine. We'll let you
just got to hit the direct pineapples. That's the key to it, right? You
exactly.
Just, you know, easy.
It's just got to be good. That's it. That's all you need to do.
There's another one.
Oh, this is remarkable. Another rail, and you can see the Mega is up. It looks like he won't be able to get it. The LG actually kept him back, which is such a shame. But I will say the kill was working wonders for the contestation of the heavy. DaHanG just biding his time, waiting for that next light to appear, which he manages to bag. He manages to get the next one as well. Great timing there. Heavy is up in the next couple of seconds. DaHanG realizes that he's not in close proximity or in reach to try and at least contest it, let alone try and get it. But still, DaHanG just keeping the high ground to see what he can do. Great nail to rail. Great stuff from the Pico as well. Another fantastic rail here from DaHanG, and he still manages to get the Mega, so at least he could burn it here. And Zeniku gets taken down. And now DaHanG slowly but surely just catching up only by 1 frag.
I hope that this doesn't turn into an issue of overcommitment, right, from Zeniku. This is the second time that he's tried to contest that Mega and has been taken out by DaHanG. DaHanG, despite getting a lot thrown at him, everything including the kitchen sink, he's been dodging it well, despite the few that he, you know, went directly down his throat. But he's kept on it, and I guess he's prioritizing that a little bit as he does pick up another one. But this is a big pickup because it sets him up to potentially get this heavy as well. And there it is. He has got a full control of the cycle.
In a perfect world, what Zeniku wants to... Oh, actually, it's just saying that, though. The engagement does come in nail, but seems to be able to pull back. Good rail again from DaHanG. But in a perfect world on this map, if you get Mega first and then Zeniku get it enough to go for heavy each and every time in that kind of rotation, it means he'll be able to contest a heavy from the high ground every single time after picking up that Mega. So that's what Zeniku's plan is. But look at the aggression from Zeniku. He's now able to increase his lead up to 5. And this is looking pretty dangerous now for DaHanG. He needs to break this setup.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, I think a lot of that comes down to Zeniku's hitting these rails. He's got to be matching these long-range shots as he goes for it. Zeniku is waiting. Ooh, that was dangerous. They're playing with fire a little bit, but Zeniku continuing to control, waiting for that Mega to spawn, and there he is. He grabs it. But once again, he's in a prime position to be able to take hold of these major items, and that's got to leave DaHanG scratching his head going, all right, what am I going to do here to kind of break this? We even get an offset of the heavy by a few additional seconds, which should just make it a little bit easier for Zeniku to take control, but it offers the same kind of advantage to DaHanG. Should he be able to engage, get a good fight, kind of take control, then right, he's set up to be able to take both of those. Great rail from Zeniku as he continues this cycle of control.
This is what I mean on Exile. This is a dream rotation. Pick up the Mega and then bag in the high ground to then contest the heavy in a much better position rather than go for the heavy first, then Mega. But this is fantastic from Zeniku. And look at the damage he took. Absolutely, well, barely anything at this point, and now he can go on the aggressive once again without having to worry too much. Just more focus on contesting the weapon rather than the items here. Good stuff for the LG. Good job taking out that Pika as well straight afterwards. Mega is up and still has plenty of time to go for this heavy here, and looks like he's going to making sure to keep DaHanG at bay whilst he contests it. And it seems like DaHanG has to back away, which is perfectly understandable.
Watching Zeniku as he is continuing to try to just control various portions of the map. His shots are hitting, and this medium to long range game is working out great for him. There hasn't really been an opportunity for Peaker to really come out and play the way I think DaHanG would like it to. Once again, we've got Mega up. Zeniku grabs it. This time he's going to go straight towards DaHanG. More grenades coming out. The shotgun blast. He steals away that heavy, but can he get away? He is running for his life. Zeniku looking for that rail, but he is not going to find it. And DaHanG finally breaks the curse there that was allowing Zeniku to grab all these major items and sneaks away with his own heavy.
Stealing that heavy was huge, but can DaHanG stay alive long enough to pick up this Mega? It looks like he may be able to. And yes, he does. So that one cycle broken has actually cost Zeniku map control. And what's Zeniku going to do now in order to keep him back? That was a great first rail, waiting for him to pop through that TP, which he does not, as he knows that DaHanG is not going to be as predictable as he would like him to be. But again, another great rail from Zeniku, but again, he's obviously tanked it himself. And DaHanG's on the chase. Will he be able to get it, though, as Zeniku knows he's in a spot of bother, but he's still able to stay alive. He should not be able to. How on earth did he manage to stay alive that entire time? 2 HP. He can try and contest it the best of his ability. Hits the direct, but let's be real, he was only on 2 HP anyway. 2 minutes left for DaHanG to try and find 3 frags.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty rough. As we got, going through the teleporter, immediately met by a grenade. On it, loved a grenade. Peaker going to come out as DaHanG drops on it. Loved that play. Zeniku down to 13 points of health, but he is probably looking to go into his shell, play a little bit more defensive for the final 2 minutes, but you can't go too much because Zeniku trying to keep it alive. DaHanG, though, with the kill, looking for a follow-up one. This could be big. Rocket through the teleporter. Can he land the follow-up damage that he needs? He can't really find it. Down to 15 points of health. Ooh, almost falls in the pit, lands the rail, but Zeniku with the machine gun to make it 8-5, and that's so unfortunate. I think DaHanG could have had a great chance for a comeback there if he would have gotten that frag.
He valued his life so well. Staying alive to the absolute pinnacle. 1 minute left, though, and it's looking very bleak for DaHanG, even though he's got the stack advantage. Zeniku can just wait for the first mistake to occur, but good rocket, but then again he retaliates with a great rail of his own, picks up the Mega and just make his life a little bit of a misery. There we go. So DaHanG does get 1 frag back, still needs to find 3 in the next 45 seconds. Not mathematically impossible as of yet. And is still on the hunt to try and keep the pressure onto Zeniku. Zeniku just trying to keep himself away. He's got those pineapples if he wants to try and retreat. But still, though, DaHanG with a huge stack, but can he make use of it here?
Yeah, I mean, 30 seconds remaining, going to be tough. Zeniku with a ton of LG damage as DaHanG comes in through the back hallways. And I think that we can officially call this one in favor of Zeniku, but you know, not without some sticky moments, right? Zeniku had control for a good portion of the map, but I think DaHanG still played pretty well, despite the fact that, we'll take a look, 12 heavies and 10 megas for ZenAku, and DaHanG 7 heavies and 8 megas. Definitely a big difference there. Zeniku's going to take map number 1.
And you saw there as well, 69% rail from DaHanG. So even after all that work playing the range game and trying to keep him off his items, Zeniku was still able to dance around and try and keep him busy, really, especially with the contestation of the items. And 22 items from Zeniku as well. What's what I like about Zeniku, especially over the last couple of months, he's worked on the items a lot better, not just the minor things like the timing or anything like that, but just positioning himself to the best of his ability in order to have the advantage every time he does contest these items. And he's done it every single time again and again. But as like I spoke about before on Exile, if you get the rotation where you pick up the mega and then the heavy's up in the next 6 or 7 seconds, for example, that's fantastic, because of the fact that at least that way, once you've got the mega, you've got the high ground to go for the heavy, and you can rain down all the pineapples and the rockets as you need to. But if it's opposite way round, then it'll be a little bit more difficult. It's the fact you pick up the heavy, and you still got to be on a level playing field going for the mega straight afterwards. And you can see there, in terms of damage, though, looking very good for Zeniku. Only a minus we can talk about here, but again, look at that. Well, I thought it was 69%, but it looks like it's going to be 70% there for DaHanG, and it just shows that no matter what damage you did with that rail, yeah, pretty much rounded it up there nicely, just to avoid anything. He had good LG as well, good accuracy all round, but it was Zeniku in the end who came out on top.
You know, believe it or not, I think like one of the big deciders there was indeed the grenades from Keel, and Zeniku would use it very often in those, you know, straight on situations, right? DaHanG is engaging with Zeniku. He's firing his shots out, but in between rail shots, he's planting grenades around. A couple of those direct hits did a ton of damage, and we saw that one frag that was like 90-50, and it was just, you know, completely imploded. So great job by Zeniku using Keel. And that damage burst to great effect. But now we move to Ruins of Sarnath, and we're going to have Zeniku on the Ison, and we're going to have DaHanG on the Ranger. 2 champions that we see regularly here on this particular map. But what do you think going into this one, Lethan?
Yeah, pretty standard picks from what we've seen so far. Zeniku with the Ison, of course, will be contesting the heavy more than anything and just feed himself info wherever DaHanG goes. But the good thing is we have seen a lot of Galenas in the past, especially this weekend overall. So at least he doesn't have to, you know, lap the map and try and keep those totems in check, which is make a bit of a change for him. But now let's see what's going to happen in the second map. ZenAku now with the 1-0 lead in this series, and believe it or not, we'll be starting off from his POV. The MGs come out from both players, but he does manage to get that mega and also the rockets straight afterwards. And we have to see what he can do in order to keep up with what DaHanG's going to be up to here, because it's going to be very difficult to comprehend what DaHanG is going to do in terms of his plan of action with the Ranger. But it's all about patience and being able to keep some control, especially around that mega.
Huge direct rocket as Zeniku comes up that jump pad, and DaHanG still with the better armor stack after that. But we've got our next major items about to pop. We can see the turret going out, rockets coming on top of that mega, but it's not going to do much. Zeniku knows that he doesn't really have the ability to stretch himself all the way to the heavy, so he did not. Wow. Oh my god, I thought he was going to get him. DaHanG taking a lot of damage near that light as the LG comes out. Zeniku didn't need that heavy. He's like, I'm going to take you on straight up. And we reset now as that fight did not end up resulting in a frag.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, but it looks like it wasn't going to happen. An explosive start, but no frags yet. Zeniku just picking up that light in the courtyard now, preparing for where DaHanG's going to come from next. Mega will be up first, only by a few seconds. It looks like it's not going to be a gentleman's agreement either to go for each other's items. It looks like Zeniku is prioritising that heavy, which is perfectly understandable, especially with that turret in place. And yeah, he's just heard that the Mega's been picked up straight away, and he could delay the heavy a little bit. Depends how greedy he wants to be. But he's delayed it enough so that at least he can pick up the heavy again and then rocket jump up to the Mega straight afterwards as he sees fit. But both players directly above each other and still waiting for the info to come from both players, but nothing as of yet. DaHanG's actually left, and now he's stuck in the choke point here. Weak gets a tiny bit of damage done, but it does mean that Zeniku can go for the Mega, go straight in for the kill, and will he be able to get to him before he gets to heavy? No, he will not, but maybe he can try and get that rail. That was an interesting scenario. It's not something you see every day, but yeah, it's great 2 rails here from Zeniku just then.
Yeah, that was quite a dance. Neither player just could see the other, and they were both making 0 noise, so there was not a whole lot of information off that one. I mean, imagine if DaHanG would have just looked over the other side of that lip. Zeniku would have gotten a rocket in the back. But both players recover from that. DaHanG is going to go back down for the heavy yet again, and I almost think if Zeniku would have delayed that heavy a little bit more, that he might have been able to just sort of take full control over. But I understand why you don't, right? That can work against you as well. Turret coming out yet again after getting nailed by a rail. Zeniku going to be dropping back down, wants to make sure he gets that armor stack up before he re-engages.
Yeah, Zeniku's given up on this Mega. He's trying to do a defensive rocket in case he drops down and is able to tag him, but it looks like he will not be able to, and DaHanG is going to have full control now of his items. Zeniku just trying to back. Oh, wow, what a shot there. You can really ask for more. And Zeniku's still just standing his ground. He didn't really decide to rotate because he knew DaHanG was probably going to be preparing for him to rotate around to that heavy jump pad, but he has actually retreated back down there, and Zeniku's just hoping that at some stage you'll have that that advantage to go for that heavy. But because of that one missed shot, I was going to say that it means Zeniku could get the heavy, but decided to give up anyway, which is perfectly understandable. And still, no frags after 4 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, Zeniku actually missed opportunity there to retake the Mega. I think he was hoping to get that heavy, but DaHanG doubling back and coming for it, grabbing both of them. Now he's got full control. Right now, 1 heavy, 5 megas for Zeniku, and 7 heavies, 3 megas for DaHanG. And the lights are closer, about 6 for Zeniku and 3 for DaHanG. Nice rocket. Zeniku drops down, but Mega spawning again, and now it's going to be a race to that heavy, and Zeniku not feeling comfortable. He knows that there's time between these two. Looking for it. DaHanG will actually delay it a little bit more. And now we've got a solid separation between the Mega and the heavy.
Zeniku just didn't want to be predictable. He's already gone around the back heavy stairs twice in a row. He didn't want to do it again, but this is a chance for DaHanG now to get the first frag. Will he be able to get it? He misses that crucial rail, and he uses the orb not to go in for the kill, but just to secure that Mega. What does that mean for Zeniku? It means that now he's going to be starving of armor, needs to try and go for his next couple of lights, but he could be trapped here depending on if DaHanG goes in for the kill, which he did make the attempt, but actually hits that second rail. Zeniku hanging on for dear life here, needs to go for that light in the courtyard, and look at this, DaHanG is read him perfectly, knew that that's the only light left available after picking up the other one near tripod, but it's actually gone back to the courtyard to go for it again. And yeah, I like that from Zeniku, just made his opponent think he's gone all the way back when he hadn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's also really prioritizing those because he's not having much luck on these majors here. This time he's going to put himself back down again. Perfect placement of that turret. A lot of damage being dished out, but the orb comes out. It disorients Zeniku, and DaHanG gets the first frag. First blood is finally out, but Zeniku answering back, deciding to go toe-to-toe with DaHanG, who did take some damage in that last battle. Zeniku now, the one who is low, but he hits the double rail to give himself the lead 2-1, and we've got 4 minutes left to go.
No frags for about, what, 5.5 minutes? And now we've already had 3 in the last 30 seconds. Just trading back and forth. Heavy's up in the next second. Zeniku knows he won't be able to make it in time. So it's just decided now just to get ready for DaHanG's next plan of action. But good rail from DaHanG. Didn't hit the second. He's going to back away and go for this light and see if he can drop down now and get ready. But he knows that DaHanG's still up there waiting to grab that Mega. Heavy's up in the next 8 seconds. So Zenicu's just getting ready to setting up a trap there. But he didn't expect the ult to come down onto it. But the turret did a fair amount of damage as well. Zeniku, luckily enough, managed to get away with his life. Picked up the light. Still railable. So needs to get the nearest health orb as soon as possible, which he has done. Did hear DaHanG come through that TP. Yeah, this is very close. 3 minutes left. It's anyone's guess into what could be happening over the next couple of minutes. But he's in position for the Mega. DaHanG's already managed to get there just before him. Good rocket from Zeniku, though, just to keep him on his toes.
That turret did so much damage.
I know.
As DaHanG got stuck to the wall there, just pinned there. Now Heavy is up, and, well, a nice rail by Zeniku. Heavy's still available. Now DaHanG picks it up. Zeniku doubling back. It does find DaHanG coming out from underneath via those stairs, but will make his way over to the Mega. And I think this is a big deal, him grabbing and controlling even one of these major items. Good rocket from DaHanG, but the Mega's picked up. Rail answered from Zeniku on the way out, and he's going to run for these lights. But I still think he's in a pretty good position, having control at least one of these items and the one frag lead. Can't get too comfortable yet, but those types of rails that force your opponent to not be coming after you, but then trying to find health and armor to re-engage, these are really, really big, impactful rails from ZenAku at the end of this map.
Love how he decided to inflict damage rather than go for the Heavy. Was in a proactive manner, delaying that Heavy as well, just to keep DaHanG off the timing. Both of them trading rails. Neither of them available as of yet. Does have a turret in place, and there's another one if he wants to use it though. 90 seconds, still one frag in it between the two. Both of them with equal stacks. Mega's up in the next 6 seconds. It looks like Zeniku doesn't want to risk rocket jumping up to that Mega, so he's just going to stand his ground for now and find out what exactly DaHanG's going to get up to next.
Yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye on DaHanG here, because as that clock ticks away, his tournament life is on the line here with one frag. This isn't like a 10 frag lead, it's one. And the urgency is incredibly high as the final minute hits, and Zeniku already taken to some of these back routes to, try to keep his opponent guessing and just out of a line of sight. No necessary reason to put yourself out in a rail angle that might get you railed, that could open up a door. And as it ticks away, you can see DaHanG on the hunt, on the search. The hounds are out, almost hitting with that one, so close. Heavy's going to be up again, and DaHanG is going to go for it, but he needs to start prioritizing the chase.
Oh, that rail could do it. He's going to help towards a winning frag. He's actually LG'd him all the way to the Heavy jump pad. He's just going to literally get away with his life. He's putting the turret in place as well just to keep him back. He's just gone straight through it. Will he be able to clean up a good rockets and somehow is still able to stay alive? 3 HP. DaHanG took a while there, but finally it's tied things up, and the LG could clean him up. He's on 3 HP.
Oh my God, he completely caught him by surprise. That would have been huge, but this is still advantageous for Zeniku. DaHanG so low. He comes up the jump pad. He hears his opponent from the back. He goes back down. Zeniku grabbing the lights. DaHanG still looking super low. He's got to be so careful. We are now in sudden death. The winner of the next frag will be the winner of the map. Another great rail from Zeniku. Underneath, down by the Heavy. And both of our major items are very close. Big rail coming out. We've got the orb going up to grab that Mega. Gonna delay that a little bit, just by a little bit. And 40 seconds in, we're tied 2-2.
I was casting DaHanG versus Garpy, and funny enough, this was the map which went into a 6-minute sudden death. DaHanG now just looking to try and armor up, just going for the light in the courtyard. Knows that Zeniku could be around the area. That's a nice little rocket there to even out the stack. Both items going to be up at almost the exact same time. So you can see there, Zeniku's just going for the Mega whilst DaHanG picks up the Heavy. But still, like, both of them are around the same area. Neither player wants to take that huge risk, and I don't think neither of them will until they get at least two rails off, or at least a direct rocket there, but it sees the turret, and as he orbing up, it went straight over his head. I don't think Zeniku expected it. 30 HP. Zeniku is able to stay alive, but DaHanG though picks up the health bubble, picks up the light, and that was sure damn close as he realizes he's down below waiting for the heavy, and DaHanG just going to go up the staircase and pick up this next mega.
Lethal, I thought Timmy was about, the turret was about to be MVP right there. Huge rail from DaHanG peeking on ZenAku into the courtyard. And this is really reliant on these major items. I mean, the way that this is working, they're trading back and forth. We're now 2 minutes in. DaHanG coming down. He does get hit with the rail, but he is still in a position where he could fight. I don't think he wants to. Big one coming up, and then the orb comes up. Zeniku dodges it just a little bit, grabs that mega, looking for the rail, misses it. That wouldn't have killed, but that would have definitely opened up a window for him to climb through and try to grab that frag. Timmy coming out again down near heavy. It's going to be up in about 6 seconds, and it's just a back and forth. We might have another 6-minute overtime, Lethal.
That's fine, mate. I'm I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
More Quake, the better. Still, though, neither player. They're trying to take these advantages, but they've not been able to. Oh, the LG from DaHanG. Oh, he actually fumbled slightly. He's going to flank around instead towards the courtyard, but he full well knows that he's not going to take that chance to go for the light there because he's going to be trapped, going to be pretty much done for, but he's going to eat the other light instead. Zeniku just on the low ground, just ready to contest this next heavy. It looks like it's going to be okay. He's going to drop down anyway. He's going to take a huge risk. Does pick up the heavy. And DaHanG, you know, risk worth taking. But sadly for him, wasn't really be able to do much with it. We'll pick up the mega though. And now we're pretty much back to square one here.
3 minutes, 20 seconds. I do feel like Zeniku has a little bit more, a little bit more ability to take risks, given that he's got one more map. He's up by one. DaHanG, though, he's pushing everything that he possibly can. Zeniku low yet again, but DaHanG is not going to chase. There he comes up the jump pad. It's a little bit of damage, but he's not going to commit, and I get it. This is DaHanG's tournament life. He's coming in big time with that LG down to 14 points out, and there it is. DaHanG brings it back. He stays alive in the final moments. Unreal. We're going to map 3. That's what we like to see. Let me ask you a question, Lethal. We did see Zeniku kind of go a little bit defensive there near the end. Do you think it was too soon, or do you think DaHanG just, went into that 5th gear and did what he needed to do, knowing that he had no other choice?
Oh, it was a tough task. I feel like Zeniku was more trying to create these traps with the turret in order to get the upper hand and then be able to jump on him. But some of the orb plays that DaHanG made was phenomenal. It's just great defense once again from Zeniku, but this is the moment where he couldn't really do enough. He could have dropped down to the heavy jump pad and then recovered from there, but how long was it going to last? There's no lights in the area. You have to rely on a couple of health bubbles and then pray to God that he'll get a decent rotation away from DaHanG. So it was a tall order in itself, but there we have it. Twice in a row, DaHanG, his tournament life is on the balance with a sudden death on ruins and comes out on top. Again, getting out damaged, but it doesn't change the fact that you can see there with the item pickups, 33 items in favor of DaHanG there. Great contestation after all. But Zeniku played really well. It was very difficult because it wasn't that neither player was playing too defensively or too passive in any way or too scared to try and get that last frag. They were just trying to play to their strengths or more to their advantages, really. And there wasn't really many, in all fairness. And both players were just not really making too many mistakes and almost close to perfection. Yeah. But it was tough, but still DaHanG played really well towards the end. And there we have it. Map number 3, here we go.
I like that. It's certainly a more strategic game that we got to see overall. A lot of moving chess pieces in that one, but DaHanG pulling it through, keeping his tournament life alive. And now we're going to the 3rd and final map, a best of 1 determined who stays in, who goes home. And Awoken is going to be the map. Now, Zeniku on the Nyx and DaHanG on the Visor. We have strong arguments for both of these champs either way. But I think that this is going to be more about who is landing their shots.
It really is. This is one of Zeniku's best maps coming into this, and I think DaHanG's going to obviously make note of that, so a lot of elements of caution there. But with the Visor versus Nyx matchup, some people will say, well, Visor does counter the Nyx in many ways. So, for example, if the Ghost Walker is popped, then of course the Piercing Sight can just follow suit and it can just chase your opponent. But it means at the same time, whoever's using the Visor will have to save that Piercing Sight. And some people with the Nyx will actually pre-use the Ghost Walk very early on or far away from their opponent to kind of get some kind of positional advantage here. So there is ways around it. It depends how they're going to use it. They're going to start off with Zenaku's POV already with the first rail. It hits the second as well. This is a great start from Zeniku holding the high ground here. And now we're pushing towards that knight. So good start here from Zeniku now as both items aren't really segregating that much. Both of them are pretty picked up at the same time. But it's going straight in with the rockets top mid. Using that Ghost Walk to see where he's going to try and come up to. But does try and take him down. Does not. And is heading straight for that Mega.
I really like DaHanG's choice there of going through the teleporter and then giving himself the ability to use defensive rockets. Nicely done. Do want to also make the observation that how Zeniku started this match is exactly how map 1 on Exile started, grabbing that rail and then 2 perfectly placed rails. Now, that did not result in a frag, and neither did it in map 1, but it was kind of like the warm-up for Zeniku's rail. So we'll have to see. DaHanG very low now as they do have an exchange. Mega is going to be up next. Heavy very soon as well. And both of these major items so close to one another that they'll probably be splitting for a good while.
Yeah, certainly will indeed. Good use of that tri-bolt. And now Zeniku just trying to get some map control again. Knows DaHanG is just hovering around top mids on those rocket stairs and literally dodges that second to last rocket, but the last one did 37. But every little helps at this point, especially at this level. Mega is up. He's going to go straight for it. He's in the perfect position as well. And literally was trying to stop him, not only going for the heavy, but trying to do as much damage as he possibly could before he goes for it. These rails from Zeniku looking so good. And what a way to open things up.
Old school Quake player Python would be so proud right now of Zeniku. Nicely done. 1-0, 2 minutes in, and that puts the pressure on DaHanG. His tournament life is on the line, but so is Zeniku here. Whoever loses this will be out, and the winner will advance on, certainly to join the plethora of other very difficult games. And we do have engagement here at the heavy. Missed rail by Zeniku. DaHanG does capitalize with some good LG damage, but through the teleporter, big shotgun blast that forces DaHanG to back off. And now this mega health might be critically important here for one of these players. Zeniku positioned to take it, but still 10 seconds left. Probably doesn't want to just sit around and hang out there for that long. He hears the rockets coming in from the rail room, putting his eyes on that light to see maybe he can grab it, and there it is. But he's going to rage on over to the heavy. He's going to commit to this fight. He decides to hit the ghost walk and go through the teleporter. Does the exact same thing that DaHanG did and will disengage.
I've managed to recover. Misses that first rail, but he has to pull back as well from those rockets. And yeah, we're talking about players as well. Like, you got some great Australian players in the past, like Dan the King and Astro Boy. Like, the highest placement for an Australian player, I think, is top 8 at QuakeCon, and ZenAku wants to try and do the same, if not better, here this time round. He's actually perfectly available, but he's now picked up that health bubble, so he's going to be okay. Still in a good place, waiting to get ready to contest that mega. Has the slight high ground. That's going to be a fantastic start here. Oh my God, Zenaku's looking fresh as anything. We'll be able to pick up the mega, and he has time to contest this heavy as well.
Oh yeah, he threaded the needle big time on that one. That's going to open up a huge door. He's being still careful as he goes in. He's checking and might even be surprised that it was as wide open as it was. But this is the first time that Zeniku's been able to grab both these major items. And 4 minutes in, if he can keep this cycle up with that 2-frag lead, he really is in a good spot. Now, I like DaHanG checking those corners with that tri-bolt, trying to throw Zeniku off a little bit. Where is he? He keeps checking back and forth, but DaHanG not revealing anything. Needs to be careful though. Zeniku definitely with the better stack, but it ticks down and some of the little damage. There's a great rail from DaHanG. Can he follow up with the second one? Rockets dodged as they start to come out. Zeniku's going to go for it, and the heavy is up and grabbed by DaHanG.
Good damage there with that last tri-bolt. Good rail as well. Now he's going to be going in for the kill, but what rotation he's going to make is going to come directly above him on the heavy jump pad. Instead, some good shotgun shots, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to flank all the way around again. DaHanG read him perfectly, but it's not going to be enough. He's way too weak to get out of that. Just Delaney inevitable at this time. And so far, halfway stage. DaHanG without a frag yet. But he could get one here after that first missed rail, but after picking up the heavy, it could be courtesy for DaHanG. But as I say, that left on 64 HP, using the Ghost Walk just for safety measures here, and realizes that DaHanG hasn't gone for the TP and hasn't done for a while. He's just not taken any of his baits, and it's going to be a little bit frustrating at times. He needs to hit this rail if he wants to stop him from going for that mega, but this is going to be the perfect choice. Would he be able to do it? No, he will not. DaHanG
Nice.
managed to clean things up with that rail and gets the mega, and adding extra pressure onto ZenAku, going for the telly, and is now on the hunt to try and get the heavy, which he's able to. Now he's got full map control and full item control.
And, you know, I was even thinking, like, what's DaHanG going to do? I think he needs to prioritize the rail. He got caught going to grab that rail, but the moment it was in his hands, things started to change here. Now only a 1 frag lead for Zeniku. Still a lot of time left on the clock. We're going to have contested for the Mega. DaHanG going to pop that sight and go in. Big LG damage. Zeniku very, very low. Can he find the follow-up to the frag? He's looking for it. He grabs the light, won't commit to going up that jump pad, and I think that was a smart move. I know the desire to chase that frag is strong, but I do think that was a smart decision by DaHanG.
It certainly was. It's all about discipline, and he had a lot of that going towards that rail area. Just decided to just hold and just wait for another moment to try and engage with Zeniku once again. Stacks relatively even. DaHanG now just waiting to see how Zeniku's going to approach this heavy, but surely he will not be able to. No, he will not. As you can see, DaHanG using that piercing sight to confirm that heavy. Now he's going to go back all the way around. Still has time to try and contest that mega as he sees fit. Still got a few seconds yet, but DaHanG's going to go around a different route instead. Looks like he may just leave it or try and get it at the last second, but Zeniku's just confirming to make sure he has enough time to get that mega without... Oh, the direct to rail as well. This means Zeniku needs to try and get away ASAP, but look at this, though. Misses the first rail, misses the second, and the Ghost Wall comes out.
And right on top of him, but big rocket DaHanG hitting right at the ground where he thought his opponent might be, pops him up off of the exit, and then the frag, and now DaHanG suddenly with the lead by 1, 4-3. He's keeping the pressure on despite the fact that he himself is very, very low, but Zeniku is lower, and a single rail would be what DaHanG needs. Is it going to find it? He does with the LG in the light armor room, and that is DaHanG up by 2. A big swing happening here, Lethal.
Certainly is. Zeniku was railable then, but has picked up the heavies, which means it's going to give him another lifeline. He's got to find 2 frags in the next 2 minutes and 20 seconds, but the rockets are definitely going to give him a helping hand. DaHanG is backed away. He's going to try and recover, which he has done, but Zeniku knows exactly where he is. He's taking a huge risk here, but the LG helping out massively for DaHanG, but how long for though? 30 HP. As you can see, he managed to get away with the mega, and Zeniku now is going to go for the heavy as well whilst DaHanG tries to recover. But a couple of minutes left. Zeniku needs to try and find an opening ASAP.
The big deal about that last engagement is that Zeniku did not use Ghost Walk. He takes some damage coming in to hang down to 13. Zeniku, he's got an open opportunity right now. Ghost Walk is still up. DaHang's going to be in the back. He picks up a 25, and he might just chill here, but he's got to be careful. There his opponent catches him and gets him with the LG coming out of that teleporter. Now a 1 frag game, and now it's going to come down to these items as well. DaHanG has to figure out how he can get his hands on one of them. Sees his opponent going to that teleporter. He does have the piercing sight. Look at that tracking with the audio. Nicely done. And big, big LG damage once again. Missed rails coming out from Zeniku. And now the mega is up. Zeniku grabs it. 10 seconds still this heavy. Will Zeniku contest?
He certainly will, especially after that engagement. He took a big damage from the rockets, but he actually railed him again. This is his moment to try and tie things up, but he's gone... Oh, the rails actually stopped to put him in his place, but DaHanG just got around the corner. He actually cheekily double-backed and tried to get another rail off, which he did, and that's even things up a little bit here. And look at this, he's tempted. He wants to go for the kill first, but he knows that he may be in a spot of bother if he does go for that. Picks up the light, heavy's up in the next 5 seconds. He may just go for this heavy and then go and hunt straight afterwards. Oh, that was perfect play there from Zeniku, knowing that DaHanG's probably going to be hovering around that TP. 20 seconds left. DaHanG needs to try and get away if he can, but this could be the moment to tie things up. And Zeniku managed to chase him down. 15 seconds left, and now is looking to try and take DaHanG down before he gets any kind of weapons in his arsenal. He's in that rail area. 10 seconds left. It looks like it's going to be another sudden death.
If DaHanG was literally anywhere else on this map, he would not have died. And oh my God, at the buzzer.
Oh no. Poor DaHanG. He had that as well. And look at that as well.
Wow.
25 items for Zeniku. He had so much control throughout the majority of that game. And you can see that DaHanG played it a lot more passive, a lot slower, and was hoping to maybe get the edge in terms of time. He made some great reads, but Zeniku, man, he just played that so well.
He did. What a game that was. I mean, both players just really bringing everything they can. The second game from DaHanG was absolutely phenomenal. I was feeling it in my loins and my guts that this was definitely going to go to an overtime. It did but didn't, which is a little strange, but there was so much that happened there. Some incredible rails came out there at the last moment, but I want to go back to the moment that DaHanG had the lead. In that mega room, there's kind of like that weird room, like it was supposed to be a bathroom, but they just never finished it. And I feel like it's like the worst place you can be, because if you get caught with the rocket, or you don't have too many options, you can't really fall down, you can't go for the teleporter, you're going to get hit from the top. If you go in, you to the left or the right, you can be chased. But DaHanG getting caught out right there, I know that there had to be a moment where it was just like, oh shit. Because if he was anywhere, if he was in Banana or over by Mega, he would have had an exit. But like that one place, it was there was definitely Lady Luck was on Zeniku's side for that one, because that couldn't have played out more perfect for Zeniku to actually tie it up and then potentially win the game. Unreal.
It certainly was. I couldn't believe that in the slightest. And we have to see what 40 thinks as well. I'm sure he was watching the entire series after the second sudden death and the third. It's just sudden death central here for you. It's just madness.
Just your heart breaks a little bit for DaHanG after that comeback.
It does.
Around the 5-minute mark, the battle over the Mega hits a clutch rail with like 10 HP, starts snowballing, and then ZenAku, I mean, you mentioned Python, right? Another Australian player. That's how Zen started playing near the end of that, just squeezing the life out of DaHanG, and right at the buzzer hit the game-winning shot. And it hurts because DaHanG coming back on map number 2 had the most insane rail angle I've ever seen, going up the big jump pad through the pillars, like past the vials as Zen was coming out of the armor area. And it was just crazy. So he was able to chase off of that with the LG and get map number 2. And then we just have this back and forth, which was absolutely insane. And Zen comes out on top. I think it's a testament to how consistent he's been throughout this stage, getting better and better, more calm, more collected, very, very clutch, and popping off as he should. And DaHanG, he's just got to be like, golly, what more can I do?
Oh no, so good. The only bit I was a bit worried about for Zeniku was when he went up the tri-bolt jump pad, and when he got taken down with the LG, I was like, oh, that was quite a big mistake, and this where it could be a little bit tilted, but he kept his composure and still managed to bring that back. And yeah, props to Zeniku to keep himself in this tournament. But sadly for DaHanG, commiserations. He's had a very hard ride, gone through so many sudden deaths and so many great players along the line. He had a very hard bracket, but yeah, once again, commiserations to him. He did play really well.
Yeah, he did. I mean, Ray, I mean, every player is probably like, well, I didn't win, so I don't feel like I did. But I mean, from where we're sitting, from the entertainment that DaHanG brought this weekend, just phenomenal. Great. I thought he played phenomenal. It's just fantastic. Zeniku continues to show like he is an evolved player. He is bringing everything that he possibly can here, and boy, is it impressive to see. But it is sad to see DaHanG go, and this kind of sets up the potential because we know Kilson knocked out Maxter in the lower bracket, so Zeniku versus Kilson will be happening in the lower bracket round of 4 later today.
Wow.
Wild.
I don't know where to begin with that, because those two have been scrimming against each other like 3 or 4 days a week, probably 40, something like that, like in terms of their practice regimen, and the fact that they've got to play against each other. A lot more mind games are going to be had in that matchup compared to maybe when they played against each other like a while back.
I just love Quake, man. These matchups are so good. Like, God,
they really are.
Awesome.
They really are. It's you know, I hopped on ES Reality and was looking through the thread, and they were all like, man, wow, these games are pretty good. It's like, wake up, everyone. Like, these games are freaking awesome. You should be watching these best players. Absolutely incredible what we have seen over the last 2 days. And we're not even close to done yet. Tomorrow is going to be explosive. Awoken versus Wenger, Cypher versus Razy. The winners of those 2 matches facing off in the upper bracket final. Like, we're in for a treat. Still left in the competition: Awoken, Wenger, Cypher, Razy, Base, Dramas, which we're going to be seeing next, Rafa, Kilson, and Zeniku. Like, the pool has shrunk rapidly today. And I'm very excited for the remaining players and what they are capable of doing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to completely agree. It's kind of what we expected. We've had a lot of upsets along the way, and you know, some notable ones being Nosfer getting knocked out very early, Kula as well. It's been an absolute crazy day. Even players like Garpy, even though he didn't take down DaHanG, taking him to like all the way to the final map, something which none of us would have ever predicted. Rafa, how did I forget about that? Like, getting knocked into the losers bracket against Awoken. Just, yeah, it's been a really crazy day. And do you know what? It hasn't even finished yet.
Yeah, we still got Kilson versus Zeniku. That will happen today. So ZenAku's not done quite yet. And then the last match of the day, I believe, is going to be the winner of Base and Dramas taking on Rafa. So we've still got a couple nail biters left for this one. And we, of course, wanting to thank everyone who tuned in as early as this morning to watch these matchups. If you did get a chance to, you got to see these quarterfinal matches play out, and what a treat it has been. So since we're at kind of a midday check-in, we're a little bit over the halfway point, but 40 Lions Lethal, real quickly, any favorite moments of today?
I mean, for me personally, just the set with Rafa Sparty. If you missed it, shame on you. Because not only have we seen that Rafa's mortal with Awoken knocking him down to the lower bracket, we've seen that he can rise up to the occasion and be that champion that people expect. But Sparty, wow, what a beast. I think Flea said it best on the cast. I don't know what they're putting in the mayonnaise over there. That dude can play some Quake. That dude could play some Quake. So that was an intense set. I mean, all these sets are starting to get to the point where it's just literally bad for my blood pressure and heart. But again, fantastic to watch. So that was one of my favorite sets.
Lethal, I'm going to ask you the same question, but hold on, because we've got the winner from the previous matchup. Zeniku joining us right now. ZenAku, congratulations, man. Let me give you a round of applause. A remarkable series. Congratulations. It was a close game, obviously, a close series throughout the whole thing. Going into that one, ZenAku, did you like feel pretty confident going up against DaHanG, especially considering like during the regular season you did have a 3-0 victory versus him?
I mean, before the match started, I did feel pretty confident about I was watching how DaHanG was playing in his last matches, and I feel like he just still isn't playing up to the level he can really play. And I've just recently been playing really, really good. So once we did the champion picks, I felt like I was kind of ready for the maps. Although map 2 was just I feel so bad about that. So
I mean, talk to us a little bit about that. What do you like? Talk us through map 2 from your perspective.
So the last 30 seconds. The thing is, I seem to have this problem where once things are going good and I'm like, sweet, I've won this game, I'll just kind of stop playing and it's enough to just lose focus. And I'm not sure if you guys could feel that. Like, he tied the game up, and I'm like, oh shit, okay. And then there were a couple of moments, even during the sudden death, where I feel like, he was on his last legs, and I just didn't pull it together. But a couple of moments, like, he just hits like a nice spam rocket. It pushes me just out. Ruins is the type of map where you can't just push your advantage all the time, because you have to really wait with the items. And then like DaHanG was just hitting like excellent rails, like we have to wait another cycle and stuff like this. So yeah, he was playing really good there.
Great. 40?
Lethal?
Or Lethal?
Oh, I was going to say Lethal can go first.
Oh, okay, I'll go first. That's fine. Yeah, I'm been extremely impressed so far. Not just your performance over the weekend, but just watching you evolve as a player over the last 12 months. It's been a real treat for us to see you just jumping from the Pro League back in Season 1, Stage 3 to how you are now. Been very impressed so far. Just talking a little bit about the last few minutes of that last map. Now, I saw you got the dry bolt jump pad, and I was like, okay, he got cut off pretty badly there. You could get a little bit tilted from here on out. But what was your plan of action? What did you decide to do differently in order to try and get back map control and try and tie things up to take us to sudden death?
I think the biggest thing was I just need to make sure that I kept the pressure on, because I feel like in these scenarios, if I leave myself like a minute and a half, and then it gets even more tense, I need to give myself as many opportunities as I can. So I just kept the pressure on, and I think there was one frag where I caught him. I think I caught him on the bounce pad. I think a tri-bolt, and just did heaps of damage. I can't remember. I can't even remember the game, honestly. It was just
just a blur.
Just that moment where I was like, okay, this is important, and lucky enough to tie it up and still take the win there.
So for a lot of the players that are just starting, or just amateurs trying to get better and better and maybe break into the league one day, how did you stay calm during map number 3? In general, what do you recommend to newer players? I know I ask a lot of players this, but you specifically, is there anything that you do or practice to try and stay in the moment, stay even keeled? Because I think that's something that you've improved upon a lot throughout the stage, is just being able to stay calm and collected in the moment and be able to pull out these wins.
It's funny, when you play as much as I do, when you grind enough, it's funny that when you lose enough times, you just get sick of losing. So there'll just be a point where it's I'll just I'll just keep focus here. And I felt that in it really is like that. When I played Cypher 2 earlier, I just unconsciously I still think that he's just slightly better than me. So I don't know. Sorry, I was thinking about something else there. But yeah, I just played a lot, and at some point you just kind of bone your focus in. That's kind of what I did there.
So you heard it here first, folks. Just go lose a ton, and then
right.
be
and be like,
this
sucks.
tissue.
I'm gonna get better, get good. Zeniku, congratulations, man. Good luck in your future matches. Maybe we'll be chatting again. But you've had a great demonstration all weekend. We wish you the best of luck in your upcoming matches. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys. Cheers.
All right, take care. Cheers. All right, well, we're going to take a break. 40 and Lethal. I'm sure, next matchup is going to be Base versus Dramas. The winner of that one is going to be going on to face Rafa. Those are two matches that we will definitely see, as well as Kilson versus Zeniku. Is going to be awesome. So 40 Lethal, thank you so much. I think we'll be seeing 40 back here after the break, and Lethal a little bit later. So thank you for joining us. Don't go away. We've got 3 more matches here on the main stream, and they are all going to be amazing. Will your favorite player go home? You better be here cheering for him. Don't go away. We'll be right back.